Hello viewers, Kubiondo Kith and Kin, I'm SB and welcome back to I Was A Teenage Exocolonist, where we still are 16, count it, that's one of the numbers. And we're in a little bit of an interesting spot with our stats here. I think we have a couple of things we could go for next. We're very close to a reasoning level up, a reasoning perk rather, which I don't know what I expect this would do, but it's probably pretty good, right? But none of our other blue stats are particularly close. I guess like a 40 in organizing probably gives us something. We're close on bravery, and we're not that far off of something significant on toughness. 7 points, the next multiple of 20, which I think would get us a card from Nem, and then another 6 points from there to the next perk. But also, we got to make sure we're getting all of our expeditions in here. So really quickly, let me just update myself because it's been a couple of days now. Where are we at on? There's a collectible in nearby. Apparently I missed one. We could do a plains at some point. There is yet a forage in the valley to do. 0 collectibles remaining here, but new boss event, because there's still lots of that kind of stuff going on in the ridge. I kind of want to get this last bit of bravery. You get bravery fairly often from events just out in the world. Our stress is really low. What's my inventory look like right now? How badly do I need pickups? I mean, I think we're pretty high on our collectibles, right? Got about 1 billion flowers, 7 mushwood logs. I mean, we're probably in an okay spot here to do without collection for a little while. So maybe we just want to play sports ball a bit until we get our bravery perk, and then we can go back out. I am really curious. And we are early in a season here, so we definitely have the ability to give people... Okay, it is Nem's birthday. Should we give Nem a cake? Are there cakes? I'm just going to give her an egg. She loves eggs. All right, where are we at with 64? Okay. We're doing all right with Nem. At some point soon, we're going to have to pick basically like a totally new skill to focus on. And I don't really know what I want that to be. I should also give you something. It turns out I have a lot of yellow flowers. I hope you find it useful. We're not going to fall for that other thing again. Listen here. First 2 times, shame on you. 3rd time, shame on me. We still don't know your birthday. But I don't know that we've tried all the early parts of the seasons either with all the new kids yet. And we know that you like crystal clusters. I'm just going to give them a crystal cluster now. Okay, well, it's certainly not your birthday. I could very easily have figured everybody's birthday out by now. Just like a little bit of focus. He's doing that cat calling thing again. I got you a present. It's a mushwood log. Oh, right, for the bar. Right. I forgot that we were also doing that. I'm helping with that. And then also, free hug, free relationship points. Rex has grown on me. I was a little leery at first. Have I still not figured out your birthday? No. All right, I'm going to wait till late this season to give Mars a flower, and we'll see about that. If I had discipline, if I was like making a grid and keeping track of it on paper, I would definitely have figured out everybody's birthday by now, but I don't have that kind of focus. I think I'm going to hold off on you two. It is funny that Cal's parents named him Recalcitrance, and then he's like the most easygoing guy in the camp. All right, let's do some sports ball here. This is still, as far as I'm aware, the best source of bravery, and also it gives us something else. Security Chief Rhett interrupts your afternoon training to address the group. Nem perks up. This seems important. Since the original colony was destroyed, Rhett begins, we have needed every skilled security officer we can find to defend our home. And now, with Governor Lum's blessing, age is no longer a requirement. We're looking for young recruits to join the ranks of the defense squads. Is that a good idea? Now, this is a serious job. He punches his hand for emphasis. You'll be soldiers, not little kids learning self-defense or peering down from the safety of the walls. You will be in danger. You need to be brave and know your way around a weapon. We certainly have enough bravery. I definitely don't have enough combat skill, I feel like. Now you step forward if you think you have what it takes to defend our colony. Okay, so we've taken to the defense of the colony on multiple occasions, right? Every time there's an attack, we run out. I don't think it's necessarily out of character to step forward here. And I also think there's probably a point of bravery to be earned. Might even be enough to take a month off of needing to play sports ball to max out. But I do think that neither Dis nor Tange would love it if we joined the defense force. What's my combat skill at? Okay, we are still sub 20, so there's no way I'll actually be allowed on the thing. Yeah, I'm gonna bravely step forward. When Rhett smiles, it's not a happy smile. But do you have what it takes to survive? Okay, 30. Define what it takes. Rhett shakes his head. You're a greenhorn, kiddo. No shame in it, but I won't enlist someone who can't handle themselves in a fight. You take some self-defense classes, then come see me again. Okay, I was hoping we were going to get a point of bravery just for stepping up. Didn't quite work out that way. So, bonus to pairs, bonus to straights, bonus to pairs. Let's get some pairs. I mean, you know. And then if we do like... There's no way for me to get a straight here that's really going to do the thing. But like if we just throw extra fingers on there, we can get our extra skill point, plus the extra skill point from Mom's Love. We'd have to pull 5. I don't know if we're going to be able to pull 5 all at once, but I mean, this is pretty compelling. Oh, it ended up being 6 bravery. Won the challenge, Vriki gear, extra fingers 2, and Mom's Love. Oh, right. The Vriki gives us another +1 on everything. So that was enough to cap out. Rad. It's Vertumnalia. Oh, I totally forgot. Everyone's in high spirits as you decorate the colony square. The great tables are piled high with food, groaning under the weight of heaps of roasted and steamed vegetables, barbecued meat, stews, carafes of mulled cider, and cakes dripping with frosting and sugarbug syrup. You gather in the colony square for the usual speeches. Lum takes the stage to fanfare and applause. "Hello, people of Vertumna," he exclaims over the din. "Happy Vertumnalia." He takes a big, theatrical breath. "Do you smell that? That's the smell of victory. We humans have secured our hold on this planet, and now it's time to celebrate." Lum gestures to the sagging feast tables. "Eat, drink, and be merry!" And the crowd cheers again. You know, he's not long-winded, I'll give him that. After the council members each give their annual reports, everyone starts clearing the square to set up for the Vertumnalia Games. You feel the pulse of a new holo message in your palm and open it up to read, "Oh, there's a present for you on the table, XOXO, your secret admirer." You rush over to the feast table and spot a wrapped present in among the roasted vegetables. Wow, you have a secret admirer? Ooh. You unwrap your present. It's a data band. You snap it on your wrist and boot it up on your hollow palm. It's full of all your favorite songs, videos, shows, and games. A collection curated by someone who must really know you. Now you'll always have your media with you even if the net goes down. including all your favorite episodes of The Rise and Fall of Sanctuary Moon. Nice. You search the holopalm for any hint as to who could have made it, but you can't find anything. You'll have to ask around, but later. The games are about to begin. I mean, it feels to me like it's got to be Tange or Dis, right? I'm not allowed to Xeno wrangle because I don't have the combat skill. Don't have the persuasion or the reasoning for those, but I sure can bake something, technically. Just barely. What's Trivia's reasoning? We might be able to push up high enough to potentially do trivia next time. Alright, you join Cal in the kitchens. Hey, Samhain, he says. Are you ready to get your bake on? Because it's the opposite that he's... Okay. This year's theme is multi-layered cakes. You'll be in charge of designing, baking, assembling, and decorating a towering monument to sweet cake and frosting. I feel like engineering skill is maybe more appropriate than organizing here, but fine. So you're going to get to 99 in 3 rounds. We could do that. I could do that. So... we could do a 4, 5, 6. Will this work? No, it has to be only blue. I was hoping this would work because the card still reads itself as blue. Oh, right, but this card is blue too. That's probably, yeah, the problem is that this card is also blue. And if I put anything else in here, like we could just do this. It's fine, I guess. Would I be better off? We could do this, right? Take the straight plus the color flush, and yeah, that's fine. We only get 8 actual value of cards, but it's fine. All right, so +2 to any card that has a gem on it is going to give us some pretty high numbers here, but I don't know that it necessarily... like, numbers is all we're going to get out of it. And then that's going to be a 10. Like, it's really... it's pretty awkward, actually. It would leave us with 49 points left to get. I might be better off just, like... so this will become a 6... if we put this over here, we can at least combo up the blues. Feels really bad not to have a grand feast in here. Yeah, I don't... it feels bad, but this is like, unarguably, this is more points. 1 more point. All right, just have to find 48. A mere 48, no big deal. I'll use my skill from being the bake-off champion last time. We have no gem cards here. It's a little awkward. We can set up, like... just put another red 5 over there. And then, like... that gets us pretty close. So if I spend a yellow flower here, we'll bump this up from 7 to 10. So we'd gain 4 points right there. But that's it. It would just be 4 points. Yeah, and it probably doesn't make sense to try to break the colors up, right? Because, like, this is a 44. That is also a 44. Well... now that this is no longer... this doesn't actually need to be a 5 anymore. If we bumped this up to an 8, we would get the 3 points from bumping this up to an 8 plus 1 more point from making a pair here. So I think that's what we do. We just go... Sorry, the 2 points from making the pair there. Yeah, we just take that. Okay, a little bit of an organizing bonus, and of course another multicolor 8, which is fantastic. 4 tiers, decorated with delicate hand-sculpted floral details, piped frosting. Of course, also it tastes good. That really de-stresses us way more than we needed. After the festivities, everyone descends on the feast. You heap your plate with more food than you could eat in 3 sittings. When all the food is gone and the sunset has broken the heat of day, people break out their instruments. Everyone dances well into the night. Remarkably, what do you call it? Simple. Okay, extra card, 1 more card at the beginning of challenges, which is great. So we're getting our enlightened bonus from having done that. Plus, we're popular because we won a thing. Plus, you know, I'm having a good month. Vase is supervising a group of children doing push-ups. Keep those backs straight, he barks, though he looks proud of them. He sees you coming and jogs over to meet you. Hey, Samhain, he says, getting some training in. Someone gave you a data band. It might have been Vase. It was not Vase. No. First of all, Vase doesn't know shit about me. Secondly, Vase hates me. And third, I hate Vase. I know he's like a child or whatever, but fuck him. It could have been them. But I just like, you know, they put a number on the how much people like you. And we had a legitimate romantic moment with Tange. It feels to me like it's got to be Tange. Also, I can't give people gifts as long as I haven't figured this out or as long as I haven't asked people about it, so I'm going to go ask Tangent about it now. Tangent is hard at work in the lab, entering calculations into her holopalm and frowning over a set of samples. She barely notices you enter. See, the only thing, like, first of all, I know we had a romantic moment with Tangent. We're at 92. I guess friendship and romance are probably not... See, here's the thing. In a lot of games that have these kinds of mechanics, there is one I like you bar. But actually, now that I'm thinking about it, were I modeling this, friendship and romantic interest are not the same thing. And I don't know that I would necessarily model, like, you should have some ability to be friends with a romantic interest, but it doesn't have to be the person who is, like, most friends with you, right? So maybe I shouldn't be thinking, you know, because her meter's high. Because it does kind of feel like a not that Tangent gift, right? It is something technical, but it's a set of shows and I don't know. Maybe. I'm just gonna ask her straight up. I do not think that she would play coy about this. Hey, are you my secret admirer? Tange looks up from her holopalm, a cross look on her face. You're what? Stars, Samhain. Do I look like I have time for childish games? Okay. Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. Like, a lot of the numbers make sense, but it doesn't feel like a gift that would come from her. Nomi is using a VertSpace helmet, flailing their arms around to play a holo game only they can see. Unable to sense your approach, they crash right into you. Oof, they say, lifting the helmet off their hand. Sorry, Samhain, didn't see you there. Someone gave me this data band. It could have been Nomi. It totally could have been. Right? Because of the shows and everything. Like, we bonded over... I'm just going to ask them point blank. Hey, are you my secret admirer? Okay. Nomi's eyes go wide. You got a secret admirer? They gasp. That's so romantic. I wonder who it is. Either Nomi's a better liar than you give them credit for, or you're on the wrong track. It does feel like I'm on the wrong track. It might be Dis. I didn't think that we were like that, but we might be like that. I'm not opposed to being like that. I kind of thought Dis was into, you know, what's his face? Which I also am a little bit. But, you know. Rex is lounging in a hammock he's set up between 2 mushwood poles. He looks like he's snoozing, but his ears twitch and he opens one eye as you approach. Can't sneak up on me, Samhain, he groans, stretching. People have tried. I'm going to ask. It's not him, but I am going to ask him. You got a what? Rex laughs. Secret admirer. Nah, secret's not my style. But, I'm not ruling it out. No, I know. You're horny all the time for everyone. I get it. Well, it ain't Mars. I'm not even asking Mars. Mars and I get along better than we used to. It could be Cal. I think it could be Cal. I don't know. I feel like with Cal, it would be something more physical, though. The way that it feels like this to me. Hey, Cal, did you, by any chance? Cal tilts his head. You're, what? Guess not. Yeah, no, that makes sense. All right, let's go. Ooh, hey. Free mushwood logs. Oh, rad, 2 of them. I am overjoyed. How many did I need to give Rex? Do we know the number? Should I just pour all of them? I mean, I guess I probably can't right now anyway. Actually, now that I've asked him about it, am I allowed to give him gifts normally? Oh, except I can't. Yeah, I can't just like hand him objects. Right. Well, we'll just keep giving him logs every time I'm allowed to. Hey, buddy. Buddy, I got a question for you. You find Dis loading some equipment into an expeditions vehicle. He nods at you as you approach before going back to his work. Now, okay, I'm going to say this. I never had a secret admirer. But is this how you do this? You get a thing from your secret admirer and you just go ask everyone you know point blank if they might be the... It feels to me like if somebody did a secret admirer on you, then maybe they want there to be a little bit of mystery. I don't know. Maybe not. I don't know. But for real though, are you my secret admirer? Dis doesn't meet your eyes. So what if I was? Don't make a big deal about it. Well, I mean, I don't know. I'm not going to say he's not my type. Like, he is kind of my type, but like, I worry about, because he's having such a rough time of it, right? I guess it's less bad now. And he's got the other alien to be a friend to him, and he seems to get along with what's her name. Like, I very nearly called her Applejack just now. You know who I mean. The one who's kind of Applejack. Maybe it's okay. Maybe it would be okay. I kind of want to get smushy with Tangent, though. It would be weird. They're siblings. It would be very weird. I don't know. Maybe it makes sense, right? I do think it makes sense with this. Relationship, it's complicated. I mean, the thing is, and this is maybe unfair to like push on the character, is just like, no, I don't know. I honestly don't know. Should we do it? Should we flirt back? I'm definitely wondering, like, if this game has in it like a concept of romantic betrayal. If you get a little romantic with multiple people, do other people get angry? Because, like, I definitely wouldn't want to make Dis upset. And if we're really trying to pursue Tangent, then I really don't think we should do this. But maybe this is we do this instead. Also, I have no idea if Tangent is ever gonna like actually respond, but we had a moment already. No, it's like super fucking weird. In the context of we had a moment already with Tangent, it would be super fucking weird, right? To to drop her and start dating her brother. Yeah, I'm going to say fine, I won't. I hope this doesn't hurt his feelings. Good, Dis says, and throws the rest of the gear into the vehicle. He skitters away before he has to endure this conversation any longer. I feel bad. It's just like, dude, I'm already kind of smoochy with your sister. You don't know that yet, but when you find out, you will think it was weird if I did anything other than the thing I just did. And now we have a strong incentive to stick to our blue skills for a little while. So why don't we go and pursue a reasoning bonus? Life sciences is a bad call because we maxed out biology. This is mostly reasoning more than engineering, which makes sense. That would be good for us. Studying the humanities is all yellow skills, which are not mental skills. These are social, right? There's no mouse over on the icon here, but yeah. So I think we want to, if we're gonna like maximize the benefit of this. Oh, I have to start going out again though, and I probably have to do it soon. Well, you know what? Let's go see what the other boss event in the Ridge is. Because that's probably going to give engineering. At least it totally could. And then we'll do the Valley and the Plains in 2 of the 3 months. Well, we have 4 months remaining after this month. Yeah, this will be fine. We'll do this now, and then we'll do school for 2 months, and then we'll do the Valley and the Plains and the Valley. Once our blue bonus is worn off. Unless it turns out there are even more boss events to do here, in which case, perhaps we come back here again. But I do think I'm just gonna haul for the ending here. Unless we see an interstitial thumper event. Interstitial's not really the word I want there. You know what I mean. Oh, Sim has a word bubble. You're enjoying a relatively uneventful second son of taking readings for one of Utopia's geological surveys, when Sim, now at maximum hearts, your world shifts on an unnatural axis as Sim comes crashing seemingly out of thin air, grappling with a skyfish almost as big as he is. Look out, he calls to you, though it's far too late for that. The ground rushes up to meet you, and it's all you can do to close your eyes and protect your head. To make matters worse, in the ensuing tussle, they just completely crush the delicate scanning equipment you just finished setting up. Utopia is going to be so upset. Oh, no. You survey the wreckage helplessly while Sim holds the skyfish at bay. The skyfish flops around pitifully, then springs back into the sky and flies away, trilling in distress. It didn't even look dangerous, really. Sowen, Sim croaks, and you turn your attention to him. Blood is pouring from a wound on his chest where one of the skyfish's spines must have pierced his otherwise perfect skin. It's the kind of thing that will definitely leave a scar, or worse. Holding the wound closed, Sim smiles sheepishly. I guess my future sight isn't always 20/20. Holy shit, are you going to be okay? Like, I'm very curious about this, but holy shit, are you going to be okay? He waves dismissively with the hand that's not holding his ding-dang chest together. Ah, 'tis but a flesh wound, he says, then smiles. Did I say that right? It's from one of your Earth movies. I quite liked it. He coughs. He and I are similarly difficult to kill completely. He grins. You think it's just a coincidence that I'm always there at exactly the right time to save you? At night, when I'm asleep, he corrects himself. I sometimes see visions of things that are going to happen, or at least that could happen. My dreams aren't always true, Sim says, wincing as he applies pressure to the wound. The paths branch and converge. Time is more like a web than a line, I think. He smiles weakly, but always in the center, there's you. Gosh, that does seem like a romantic overture, doesn't it? Again, I'm not an expert on receiving romantic attentions from extraterrestrials, but that feels like he's saying, like, do we flirt back, or do I can just tell him I can see the future? Kind of. I'm gonna say this. Hey, I can see the future too. Sort of, only in my dreams, the same way you can. You can? Sim laughs. Well, you must not be very good at it either. You try to explain. You tell him it's kind of like remembering, but in your dreams. It's happened ever since you were a little kid, like you're remembering things that haven't happened yet. You admit that some of them are pretty rough, like visions of people dying. Sam nods in agreement as you explain. Some gardeners have this ability, he says, but it takes hundreds, even thousands of years to develop. It seems you were born with it. I can't tell you how this future sight works, Sim continues. To be honest, I don't even know. But if you're curious, he's clearly grappling with something, and not just the sluggishly bleeding wound in his chest. His voice drops. You might look for answers under the light of the wormhole in Glow, he confesses. You press him for more, but he begs you simply leave him to handle his injury in peace. Okay, well, we had already intended to go out during Glow, right? Strange. But we did get our Sim affection maxed out relatively quickly. Alright, show me a cool event. You're back at the Wormhole Observatory with Dis, just to poke around. Who knows what you might find? Let's explore at random. You bravely try all the elevators. Some are broken. One gets stuck for an hour and you think you're gonna die in there, but then it chugs to life. And then you find the orrery. It's a beautiful room under one of the smaller pyramids. The light from your hollow palm glimmers off the crystals in rainbow colors, dotting the walls and ceiling in familiar constellations. There's one huge crystal plate embedded in the wall, engraved with deep glyphs. Convergent domain writing, you guess. And some kind of map? In the center is clearly a representation of the wormhole. Lines extend from the wormhole to other points on the map, and many more glyphs you can't read. The crystal is cut up into shards like it could move around, but it's still and dark, and probably has been for thousands of years. You run your hands around the panel, looking for a way to turn it on. Your hands encounter a slot. Upon further inspection, it seems to match one of the artifacts you've picked up in your surveying. You slot the glowing pick device into the slot. The crystal panes on the wall come to life, the glyphs on them glowing. They start to move in an unnervingly organic way, like melting into water and sliding over the surface, rearranging themselves. It's not just writing. The very surface of the panel raises and lowers like braille. The glyphs pulse and glow the same swirly purple-pink as the glowing device, which you realize must be a power source. A convergent domain battery. It's like an orrery for the wormhole. This must be one of the best preserved bits of convergent domain technology you've found yet, and an excellent sample of their writing. You're starting to piece together the glyphs of the Converger's language. You can recognize the symbols for Vertumna, the wormhole, and Converger, and basic verbs like being and going, and one that seems to mean bending or twisting that is used all over the place. It starts to get easier. You think your brief connection to the array must have left some of the Converger's language in your subconscious. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. I was going to say, that seems awfully fast, considering how little of the language we've encountered. But right, we have some weird stuff in our head because of the array. It's all so much to take in, and it's getting late. Better bring all your recordings back and let Congruence and the rest of the archaeology team crunch away at it for a bit. They'll be thrilled. Okay, so we got ourselves a little bit of bonus engineering there. And then, yeah, we'll just go home. I'm assuming there'll be more events then. There's no way that was the end, right? Oh, it does not say boss event. Maybe we exhausted all the stuff we can do for right now. Okay, so we are late in a season here. This would be a good time to explore for birthdays. Hey Mars, what do you think of this flower? Okay, so a little bit of friendship. We're doing okay with her. Moo juice? Oh, he's pulling a Luke Skywalker, I see. You know, he's got a Luke Skywalker sort of quality. Here, have this bobber fruit. Wait, hold on. I'm going to be right back, buddy. Are there any cakes in the store? Because if so, I will absolutely... Alright, there is one. Surrender to me your cake. Cal, my friend, I brought you something that will go great with your moo juice. Aha! We did it! Cal gasps. My favorite food! And on my birthday, too! He makes a grabby hands at the cake. Okay. Yep, the rest of that text is the normal you gave him a cake text. But now, yeah, we're doing great things here. We're doing excellent work on young Cal. Soon everyone will be desperately in love with us, fully in our thrall. Okay, I gave you a thing already. Yeah. I probably should have waited, but we got Cal marked at least. So, I guess, yeah, I think I was going to do a little bit of schooling while we still have this brain buff. Let's study some engineering. You see a notice on the engineering holoweb. Chief Engineer Instance needs someone to help with after-school tutoring. Literally anyone who isn't a complete idiot will do because she's desperate. Please apply. Well, I mean, sure. You tell Dr. Instance you're interested in the job. She looks up from her holopalm like she's just noticed you exist. Yes, you'll do, she says, nodding. The younger, slower kids have trouble keeping up with congruence sometimes. You mostly just have to pat them on the back now and then, and stop them from wandering off when they're supposed to be studying. No offense, but anyone with a pulse could do it. You wait for further instruction, but Instance sighs, shooing you away dismissively. You know where the classrooms are. Just come when you're not doing whatever nonsense teenagers do here. Okay, so it's not an event for right now. It's a new option. Well... So, I mean, we just, play a bunch of red cards, right? Make my neighbors 6. You also get to be a 6. And you should probably be a 6. That feels right. And then you're not quite a 6. But you'll have to do. Hell yeah, Super Goal. Get all that engineering. That was a really easy one. Okay, one more of those, and we will have our reasoning bonus. Okay, early wet is birthday time for... Yeah. No, late wet. Late wet. Tange is deep in conversation with someone from the heliopause, making notes on her holopad. The soldier leaves, and Tange turns to you and acknowledges you with a small smile. Perhaps I was too quick to judge the soldiers, she says. In the past, great scientific advances have been made in service to the military. Ultrasounds, the microwave oven, blood transfusions, and even the internet, which was the precursor to hollow palm connectivity. She taps her finger against her chin. There may be a way to work in tandem for the good of humanity. Yeah, maybe. Could be. Oh, free food. Hey, buddy, I brought you a stick. I'm contributing. So we really have to build the bar over this much time? That's wild. All right, also get our free hug for the month. I've definitely given you gifts in early wet before, so we'll try mid. I probably did mid too, right? I don't know. All right, Cal, bad news. I do not have a cake. What I do have is this bobber fruit that I just found on the ground. It's the best kind of bobber fruit. And then we're waiting on disentange. Where is... Okay, Num is over here. Hi, Num. Have a Xeno egg. Yeah. Friendship. It's numerical. Oh, actually, my bonus is already faded. Well, I still should go get the reasoning, you know. We can get a thing. If I tutor children, what do I get? Reasoning and empathy. See, that's interesting. I would like some empathy. I feel like it might be important. But also engineering. We get more base reasoning from tutoring children. Where am I at on engineering? 46? Like, we're not that far off. It is not unreasonable to think we can hit the second tier of this. I'm going to study engineering. To further your engineering knowledge, you're taking a mini class with Chief Engineer Instance on the construction and maintenance of your hollow palms. These devices are engineered bismuth crystals, embedded in your palms when you start school. They use the heat and electric current of the human body to power themselves, to talk to each other, and to connect to the HoloNet, Congruence's massive repository of information. You can barely remember life before yours. The hollow palms were commonplace by the time the Vertumnalia group first formed on Earth, and the square bismuth is grown in the lab, Instance explains, so the physical device itself isn't hard to maintain. The difficulty is in the display and touch interface. Instance opens her hollow palm, displaying a visible projected screen floating above her palm. As chief engineer, she also has one of the fancier versions that combines with a pair of eyeglasses to superimpose a projection right onto what she sees. The interface relies on plasma voxel generators, which require extremely small components that are impossible to nanoprint. The material will have to be mined from Vertumnalia itself. Tange raises her hand. Is it possible to hack these devices? She asks. If the biological electronic interface is so thin, is it possible to hack the human body? In a way, we've already begun to hack the human body, Instance replies. What do you call gene tech? Everything the body does and is capable of depends on 4 nucleobases in different configurations. It's no different than congruence. Human and artificial intelligences are both built from a limited code and are transformed into more by the building. Your genetic enhancements, superhearing, sight, temperature regulation, increased resistance to fear, disease, and fatigue, all present in the human genome and unlocked by the power of science. The class splits into working groups to explore installing modules onto your holopalm. You and Tangent are in a group together. She begins installing a mod that will let her scan inorganic materials and get a reading of their chemical compositions. What do you do? I do not try to remove my holopalm. That seems like a bad idea. I could download my own... Yeah, We don't need to learn from Tangent. Like, I wonder if this is like an opportunity for a moment of closeness, but I think part of what makes me and Tangent work to the extent that we do work is that she does like respect my intellect and stuff. So I don't know. I'm just going to download my own mod. Tangent raises an eyebrow. Impressed. What module do you choose? Finding lost objects is cool. A puzzle game is going to improve our organizing or reasoning, I would think. It's hard for me to imagine the benefit of this. A bacteria sniffing sensor. I'm gonna go for the puzzle game. You install the portion of Congruence's immense archives that gives you access to playing nonogram puzzles, little pictures to draw by filling in the squares of a grid based on number logic. It doesn't take much time, and you pass the rest of the class noodling around on your holopalm. Okay, it was a point of reasoning. And also a stress reduction, which is nice. Okay. So, I mean, I'm definitely going to take Mom's Love here. We can certainly just, like, play a bunch of fives. Right? Like, that's fine. It actually isn't a win. We could... I don't really want to use mushwood logs, though. I wish this was blue. We could bobber fruit it to blue. That doesn't feel all that great. I mean, I could just push through. I'm just going to push through. 10 stress is not that big of a deal in the situation we're in now. There was a version of that would work anyway, but I wanted to make sure we used Mom's Love because we wanted the extra points and whatever. It's fine. All right, let's see that reasoning perk. Okay, blue cards get +1 in blue challenges. That's a pretty good perk. All right, let's go explore. I mean, okay. I still don't know why. I still don't know when your birthday is. I don't think it's going to be late wet. It's just there's so many people whose birthdays are late wet, right? But I feel like we must have tried this already. Yeah. You approach Mars, who's deep in negotiations of some kind with Tangent. When Tange sees you over Mars's shoulder, she points and says your name. Thank you, forces of chance and chaos, Tange mutters, slipping away as Mars's attention turns to you. She's your problem now, Samhain. Oh cool, great, what are we passing off on me? Mars pretends not to hear her. Samhain, she exclaims. You're looking hideous today, darling. Luckily, I'm doing makeovers and fashion advice free of charge. Alright, that's a thing we're doing now, I guess. Come with me, Mars says, directing you to her room. I've been working on these designs for weeks. They're fresh off the printer and I'm dying to see how they look on a regular person, like yourself. Mars's room is a riot of sparkling fabric. Yeah, I bet Tange was really happy to get out of this. My first fashion line is all about dressing for the seasons of Vertumna, Mars says as she ushers you inside. Yellow and angular for dust, airy and pink for pollen, stuff like that. If we ever make it back to Earth, I want to be known as the visionary who brought Vertumna home. Okay, I mean, that's interesting. I think it's ridiculous to say that people on Earth won't care about the first non-Earth planet that humans colonized. Like, that's a wild idea. Mars indicates the pile of outfits on her bed. Well, what are you waiting for? Chop chop. You try on outfit after outfit, letting Mars scrutinize your silhouette and bearing. She seems genuinely focused on how the clothing performs. Finally, you finish trying on all the outfits. I think the glow jumpsuit is the winner. Go ahead and put it back on, Mars instructs. Then we'll do your hair and makeup. You sit on her bed as Mars pulls out her box of cosmetics. A day look, she asks, or something more bold for nighttime. Our character is something flashy for sure, right? Mars smiles at you with all of her perfect teeth. A woman after my own heart. Mars does your makeup efficiently, then pulls out a bottle of bright blue nail polish. One more thing and the look is complete. Mars paints your nails, humming tunelessly while she works. And voila, she says when she's done. I don't think we should hit on Mars in this situation. Yeah, this was fun. Mars smiles and caps the bottle of nail polish. And informative, I hope. Blue is definitely your color. Okay, see, we're making friends. We're getting along. That was a friendship thing that happened. Oh, Cal wants to talk as well. This is why we check. You're shooting the breeze with Cal in the shadow of the geoponics dome when he leans over and waves at someone over your shoulder. Perk, hey, over here. Perk jogs over to you. He's a heavy-set adult with tattoos sprawling up his arms that make him look like he's made of marble. He holds out a stack of tiffins wrapped in a sash. Hey, you two. Seth and I were testing out recipes, and we ended up making too much. I figured I'd run some lunch over to you. No wonder Cal likes this guy. Cal takes the tiffins and opens the first one. Lentil doll, he exclaims, inhaling deeply. No way. Perk looks proud. Rice in the second one, and a little something sweet in the third. You deserve it with how hard you've been working out here. You eat up too, Sal, and there's more than enough. Perk leaves you to divide the spoils, and Cal goes right to dessert. Having 4 parents is the best, he mumbles around a mouthful of sour sweet cake. Cal's mom, Auntie Tira, is in a relationship with 3 other colonists. Perk is the newest member of his family, but even then, they've all been together for a while. Cal's always been surrounded by a lot of love at home. Cal swallows his food. You know, sometimes I wonder if I'd want to date that many people, like my mom does, he muses. Like, finding one person who wants to date you and having the courage to ask them out is already hard enough. Bruh, my palms are sweating just thinking about it. Don't bruh me, come on. Besides, Cal continues, it works fine for my mom, but I kind of feel like if I find someone, I want to just be with them, you know? I want to put all my energy into making them happy. This, I think with Cal, this would land hard. This is a romantic haymaker with this young fellow, but I do not think that this is our vibe. I think we're just very good friends with Cal. Well, don't knock it till you try it. Cal shrugs. Bruh, I'm around it like literally every day. I'm pretty sure I'd know if it's for me or not. The doll is sweet and fragrant and tastes all the better for being made and delivered with love. You and Cal eat your fill before Cal excuses himself to go back to work. I don't know. Maybe I should, It could be the case that I'm going to end up not having any romance in this playthrough because it does seem like Tangent is sort of a tough nut to crack in that regard, but I don't know. I'm not going to take someone on just like as a backup. That feels shitty. Nomi is camped out in the lounge, their holopad screens spread out before them like a drawing table. In another screen, there's a collection of photos of a manticore. Nomi looks between the 2 screens, their brow furrowed in concentration, as they scribble directly onto the screen with a stylus. Hey, what are you doing? Well, Nomi replies thoughtfully, I wanted to write and illustrate a story about aliens, like in Turbo Girl Hyperjet Transform, except using the Xenos here on Vertumna, like manticores and faceless and stuff. But they can talk, and instead of attacking the colony, they help people instead. Oh, that sounds cool. Thanks, Nomi chirps, scribbling happily at their drawing. I got the idea from the second Turbo Girl Hyperjet OVA. You know, the one where the Medusa demons show up and the aliens and the Turbo Girls have to band together to defeat their common enemy? Yeah, I remember that part. It would be so weird to give her the brush off now after we've already talked about this before. But I guess, a diss is nearby. I guess you could read this as, being embarrassed to admit this stuff in front of him. But he knows. He knows what all of our favorite shows are because he gave us the thing. Yeah, I remember that part. Nomi looks up at you with a start. Oh, that reminds me. So I'm trying to brush up on my xenoanatomy, and I'm totally fine with writing, but they blow out a big breath, ruffling their bangs. I kind of haven't been here long enough to make sure it feels right, you know, to make it go pop. And I want to make sure I'm being, you know, sensitive about stuff I don't know a lot about. So I was wondering, could you help me with some of the world building? I would love to do that. I am not that creative, apparently. Well, I can try. You spent an enjoyable afternoon helping Nomi with their story. When you're done, they give you a big hug and thank you profusely for your help, most of which they probably didn't actually use. And then we go out to survey the plains? Yeah, why not? I don't think there's much difference between doing this thing this month and the other thing the next month, or the other way around. We'll just gather up all of our various things, in particular a ton of mushwood logs. Feeling very good about coming out here. Try to be as thorough as possible. And check out Nomi's standing over there for some reason. Oh, hey, Sim. You think you see Sim running through the trees up ahead near the edge of a cliff. You call out to him, but your voice is drowned out by a screeching roar that shakes the forest. A manticore. You're feeling a remarkable lack of self-preservation today, so you holster your scanner and follow the noise through the trees. Oh wow, okay, that's what those look like. To find Sim fending off not one, but 3 manticores at the edge of the cliff, his back to the fatal drop behind. He's bleeding profusely from his hairline, and his left arm hangs useless at his side. He doesn't even register your presence as he tries to calm the beasts with soothing sounds. He seems to be very bad at dealing with wildlife. One of the manticores knocks Sim off his feet, and your heart lurches as a spray of stones clatter down the cliff. The beasts have him completely at their mercy. The lead manticore's delicate feet pin Sim's tattered clothing to the ground, spittle drooling from its misshapen jaws, and you watch Sim's expression twist with an emotion you've never seen in him before. Fear. Alright, well, let's get in there. I don't have a ton of combat skill, but I do have a ton of red cards. Okay, seems like we probably want to just play some yellow stuff here. Although, honestly, yeah, these are not very good. I guess we can, like, I hate to go 4, 5, 6 and spend the Grand Feast on a hand where we don't play any gems. We could, gosh, it's just kind of bad. It's just kind of awkward, right? Like, there are a couple of things that almost work. We could just play some red cards, right? No numerical stuff, because the way they're ordered, like, we can't quite get there, but we can get the pair at least. And 23 is not terrible for the open. Yeah, and then just hold on to the yellow because we're going to be able to create big hands of yellow cards. There we go. That's a pretty decent middle hand. Okay. And that's almost enough right there. I can make this a 6 if I play the Grand Feast, which totally gets us there. We could do better, but we'd have to take stress for it, and I don't really want to. Oh, right. This breaks the straight, though, because milking the squeeger is not... Shoot. Well, if it's going to be broken anyway, we should at least play it this way so the yellow cards, the multicolored cards in the middle. But that does suck. If I'm going to do that, these should be adjacent to each other as well. Yeah, all right. I'll just take this. It's fine. I don't want to take the stress necessary to get the higher value. Somehow, using all of your strength and then more, you defeat the lead manticore. Okay, that's a thing that doesn't deserve to be explained at all. The two smaller ones scatter, hissing their displeasure and biting at each other. With the death of their alpha, negotiating their new pack dynamics should distract them for a while. Gosh, are you okay? Sim waves you off with the arm that doesn't hang limp at his side. I am fine, he gasps. I feel pain, but it does not control my behavior as much as it seems to in humans. Sim is barely standing upright after that battle. Truly, he wasn't much help this time, and it seems as though, despite your best efforts, his strength is fading fast. He stumbles into you, knocking you both to the ground. He lands on top of you, your legs intertwined and his weight pressing you into the dirt. Oof, he gasps. You can feel every inch of his long body against yours, stirred to the quickening by the adrenaline of the fight. My hero, he murmurs. His eyes fall to your lips. I mean, okay, at this point it would almost be rude not to kiss him, right? Like, he seems to want that to happen very badly. Ah, fuck it. You close the distance, pressing your lips to Sim's. He makes a sound of surprise that quickly turns to delight, and then surprise again when you hook your leg over his and gently roll on top of him, taking control of the kiss. I didn't press a button for that, but that's fine. The adrenaline's pumping. That's probably sensible. Sim kisses with a charming innocence at first, clearly improvising his way through his first kiss, though he's quick to respond to your touch. You flick your tongue against his lips and he opens his mouth to you, allowing you to taste deeply of him as his good hand digs into your side. Oh yeah, let's just remember how extremely wounded he is right now. It's not long at all before he's responding in kind, and you're both breathing heavily into each other's mouths as you discard all sense of propriety and grind against each other in the dirt. This is getting a little graphic. Oh, Sim gasps as you break for breath. He sounds dazed. Is it always like that? You wouldn't know, but you nod anyway. Sim makes a hungry noise and claims your mouth again, kissing you passionately. Ooh, boy. I'm going to say I didn't know you felt this way, because I couldn't tell if he was just being playful before, and I don't want to tip my emotional hand, because in order to do so, I'd have to make a decision about what my emotional hand is here. I'm just going to say, I didn't know you felt this way. Sim looks unusually bashful. I was too subtle, he murmurs, and for that you have my apologies. Everything I have learned of love has been from researching your holographic videos, he continues quietly. I did not know that it was possible. I did not have words for this feeling. I love this planet deeply, he says. You listen intently, playing with a lock of his hair. And I love my purpose here. I love every living thing, and I take comfort in knowing our fates are inescapably intertwined. Sim places his hand over your chest. But there are no words for the feeling I have here when I see you. Like an ache that pulls me to you. I envision things with you that are impossible to explain. He looks away and you see color rise in his cheeks. Forgive my crudeness, but I know of the biological imperative of all life. Gardeners do not share this imperative and do not feel driven to physicality, but with you, He bites his lip. Perhaps it is this body. Perhaps it is you. All I know is that I would like very much to kiss you again, and I would not like to stop. Uh-oh, you're about to grant his wish when you're both startled by a crashing sound from the trees. You jolt apart in time to see one of the two remaining manticores break through the tree line and roar at you, blood and spittle spraying from its ravenous jaws. There is no sign of the other, clearly lesser, manticore. "Run," Sim gasps, pulling you both to your feet. He gives you a push, and you start running parallel to the cliff, trying to get some distance before it's safe to duck back into the trees. You don't hear Sim behind you. You whirl around just in time to see Sim clash with the manticore, grappling with its huge front claws as it pushes him closer to the edge of the cliff with dancer-like strength. "Go," Sim yells. Rocks scatter down the cliff by his feet. "Please, Samhain, just go." You don't even have a chance to be the hero. The manticore takes Sim's neck in its jaws, and he screams in pain. Jesus. Sim locks eyes with you once more as time slows to a crawl, then speeds up as he grabs hold of the manticore and launches himself backwards off the cliff. They're gone before you can scream. You rush to the edge, too late to catch even his trailing, tattered coat. It's a long way down, and the wind buffets your face viciously. You try to blink away the image of their bodies falling through the air, now seared into your memory. You turn away from the smudges at the bottom of the cliff, but you still see it. You sit down, stunned, and you stay that way for a long time. How can he be gone? Just like that. Dead. Jesus. There won't be any funeral for him, the alien who would be human. It's not like you can bring his remains home to be properly recycled. It's a small comfort that at least out here, it won't be long until nature takes its course. Sim would probably have wanted that? You think. With a heavy heart, you return to the transport station. You just want to go home. I did not think there was any chance that anything like that would... That really caught me off guard on in a number of ways. Wow. So we don't exactly know what Sim's deal is, and he makes reference to that physical body not really being his body. He might not be dead, right? Like, I don't necessarily think that he's like dead in the sense that we understand it. But even so, that was very dramatic. And also the other stuff that happened. I think this is where we're going to call it for today. I need a moment to recover. Thank you all so much for watching, really. When you come back next time, I'm going to head back out into the wilds, still holding the half hope in my chest that we have not seen the last of our dear Sim. And I can't believe he was like really... Okay, no, we'll talk about it tomorrow. Come back next time for that. And we'll see you then.